and I welcome you all to Podcast by Mobiz, which is an exciting and interesting platform for our audience to discuss and explore the latest AI market trends.
So I've been in the industry for past 6 years. The generative AI stuff is going to capture your jobs, right? And to work with generative AI system, it's I would say it's really cost extensive. This AI being democratized and it would be available for a huge open source community.
So, do you think there are certain tasks that LLMs would be performing better than humans? What skills do you think a person should develop or should learn in order to stay updated to the current AI market? Hello, everyone. My name is Rabeea Najam, and I'm an IT Business Analyst. And I welcome you all to Podcast by Mobiz, which is an exciting and interesting platform for our audience to discuss and explore the latest AI market trends. In our first episode, we have a guest, Abdul Hafeez Fahad. And Fahad, I would like you to introduce yourself to our audience.
Yeah. Hello, Rabia. So my name is Abdul Hafeez Fahad, and I'm currently working as a senior AI engineer at Mobiz. And yeah, I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
Thank you, Fahad, and we welcome you. So, Fahad, in our today's episode, we have a topic, and it's about LLMs. So, the topic is, are LLMs going to replace or augment the human expertise? And in this regard, my first question is, what exactly are LLMs and how much they have evolved in all these years?
Okay. Rabia, if we talk about LLMs in a broader perspective, LLMs are also known as large language models because the way they have been trained on, they have been trained on really large amount of data sets, right? And so I've been in the industry for past 6 years, and I have witnessed that paradigm shift from whenever we talked about AI products or projects. The first thought that came to our mind was we need to implement a machine learning model, and those can be categorized as natural language processing and computer vision. But since 2017, so back in the year 2017, there was a transformer architecture which was introduced by Google. And that transformer architecture has two neural networks inside of it. And the first neural network is encoder, which takes an input for the user. And there's this another neural network inside of transformer, which is decoder, which basically generates
Output, yeah.
so, and if we talk about the previous NLP models that were recurrent neural networks, long, short-term memory-based models, those have the tendency to, process the text sequentially. But transformers solved that problem when they came into the marketplace. So, what transformer did was that whenever transformer reads a certain text, let's talk specifically about the word in a sentence. It tries to map that word with the words that are inside of that sentence. So basically, they solve the limitation of sequential parsing. So yeah, that's how much LLMs have been involved, and you can see that LLMs are playing a huge role in the industry these days. Yeah.
Thank you for such a detailed answer. This moves me to my next question. Now that you have mentioned the paradigm shift and everything, so do you think LLMs are eventually going to replace certain jobs, or are they going to serve as a tool in the market?
This is still an ongoing debate. But what I would say is that generative AI would be something like a really important tool that humans can use. I mean, we can combine the intelligence of the human and the generative AI in combination. But I do not think that LLMs or generative AI is going to replace humans, right? I mean, there is some sort of witnesses or evidences that the generative AI stuff is going to capture your jobs, right? But it's not for all of the departments,
Yeah.
all of the people they are working in
Sure.
different domains. It can capture for a technical writer, it can capture the job for the person who is programming and stuff like that. But LLMs, or if we talk about specifically generative AI, that will always be used in combination with human intelligence. And still till date, this is I would not say this is a limitation, but it's how the agents or generative AI works. These systems need commands, and those commands should be redirected from a human
Human,
perspective.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, Fat. So my next question is: do you think that LLMs are they going to widen the gaps between those who have access to AI tools and those who don't? Do you think it's going to happen like that?
Yeah. So I'm I would say that we in this type of question we should say generative AI, not just LLMs, because generative AI has its own separate branches, and they are I would say taking upon much of the work that is being done in a manual way in the industry, right? But for now, so when LLMs or this generative AI paradigm shift came into place, there were all of the, I mean, all of the cloud providers like Azure, Google Cloud Platform, Amazon, etc. They all shifted towards that generative AI trend that was in the industry. And how did they shifted it? I mean, they can. What they did was they took those OpenAI or certain LLMs from certain LLM providers, and they incorporated those LLMs or generative AI stuff into their own cloud
Yeah.
infrastructure, right? And if we talk about Azure, there is a whole Azure OpenAI Foundry, Azure OpenAI Portal, and a lot of stuff, right? Where you can deploy LLMs. Those are pre-trained, like from OpenAI. There could be GPT 3.5, there could be GPT 4.0, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And there could be embedding models as well. But talking about from the business perspective, I would say there is, so if you talk about the industry, there are certain companies in the industry, but all of them are not on a certain level, right? Some of the companies that are working inside of the industry have a low budget in order to do the
Yeah,
day-to-day
that's
tasks,
common.
right? And to work with generative AI system, it's I would say it's really cost extensive operation to work with generative AI systems, because you need to have LLMs in place. If you're developing a RAG based system, you need cognitive services as well. So all of those resources combined inside of a generative AI system, that puts a lot of cost on the portal that it's running on. So yeah, so there would be a time, and I would say still is the time as well, when some of the companies would be able to use the generative AI system, and some of the companies won't be able.
Yeah.
But then there's this discussion as well, where you have this AI being democratized, and it would be available for a huge open source community. So yeah, it's definitely going to widen the gap, I would say. But the discussion would stay at that point, where at how much extent would the AI be democratized, and how to much some extent the people all over the world would be able to use those services, right? Because it comes with a cost.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Thank you. That makes me think that what do you think LLMs are going, or the tasks that LLMs are going to perform better than humans? Since you have said that they're definitely going to widen the gaps. So do you think there are certain tasks that LLMs would be performing better than humans?
Yeah, definitely, definitely. You are a business analyst by your career as well, and you have seen that GBT can take a lot of human workload
Yeah,
on
yeah.
its own, right? I mean, you have scheduled tasks as well, where you just don't need to remember anything, and you just need to initiate an agent which would do the work for you.
Exactly.
So yeah, so there are certain things, like if I could name it on top of it, there could be idea generation, there could be content writing, there could be summarization of documents, there could be information retrieval from certain documents. So yeah, all of those things, uh, LLMs do them really in a perfect manner.
Yeah.
And if we compare those towards human, then human might take certain time. Like the task that is allocated to a human, the human might complete it in a week or
Yeah,
so.
but LLMs
But
can.
LLMs can do it within a minute,
And
right?
it will be certain, precise, and
Yeah.
professional as well. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's right what we have.
Thank you, Fahad. And my last question would be for all those who are watching us today and those who want to stay up to date with the latest AI trends. What skills do you think a person should develop or should learn in order to stay updated to the current AI market or generative AI? What skills would you suggest or would you advise them?
Okay. So with this question, there is a really famous study by Harvard, which says that AI uh, is not going to replace humans, right?
Yes.
But humans with AI will replace humans without AI, right? So, in order to stay up to date with the latest technology and the stuff, and you have heard day to day like cutting edge technologies and stuff like that. So, in order to stay up to date with them, the people should start working with AI, and they should learn how to use them efficiently, right? Because within the generative AI system, the people are talking about it. It's in the industry, but you need to have certain guardrails around your generative AI system in order to extract the accurate and
information.
output in a certain way that you need, right? So yeah, I would say in order to stay up to date with the latest technologies, and currently the tech industry is um, going really fast pace.
Yeah.
So the person that will be left behind would be the person who is not using AI efficiently, right? I mean, there are certain type of people from certain career backgrounds that says that no, I do not like the technical writing done by ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Rather than I would write those 100 pages of documents myself.
Myself, yeah.
So that shouldn't be the case. I mean, you can just let the ChatGPT draw a draft for you, and you can tweak it afterwards, right? So yeah, I would say if even if we talk about generative AI or stuff like that, and the people who are not using it would be left behind, because it's a fast pace, and you need to match that pace in order to stay in the industry. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Fahad. Thank you so much. That was very informative.
Thank
And thank you so much for sharing your valuable insights with us. And that's the end of our episode 1. And to everyone who are watching us, share your thoughts in the comment section and let us know what are your thoughts about LLMs and generative AI. Stay tuned for the next episode.